My bad, my bad, my bad, my peeps, my bad. So, understand first that this is not, I'm not dogging Real World Prepper. I don't really watch the dude. Occasionally, his shit comes up in my feed. I am subscribed to him, however, but so occasionally his videos come up in my feed. Seems like a decent enough guy. I was sent a video today from Tech T, and Tech T said, be a good little voting adult or some shit like that. You know, doing what Tech T does, and he's very good at it, and he's started a YouTube channel. So the moral of the video, long story short, he tells a story about his father giving him a, and the moral of the story is, you know, raise good. He tells about what makes a good adult. He adds God into this. So God's been a hot topic lately, especially when it pertains to me and my channel. Me pointing out the inconsistencies in one's beliefs has no bearing on my belief. And just because you put all your faith, wholehearted faith into a book doesn't mean that I must or the next person must. Just because I won't name my God to you, like because you tell me I must do it like I'm a fucking dog, and I just don't do it, doesn't mean that I don't have a God. It just means that you would never understand who my God is, even if my God is the God that you pretend that you believe in. So anyway, part of his thing was that raising a good child to become a good adult was having God. The premise of the whole story is that he is a good adult. I know he didn't say that, but if you listen closely, that's what he's trying to say. My dad did this, folks, we do this. This is how you raise a good little kid to become a good adult. Okay, so look at it from that point of view, and I've said this 1,000 times. You, Real World Prepper, you are pro-cop. And even if you're not pro-cop, all cops, you're still pro-cops because you're buddy with Zombie Fairy, who is what? A cop. Who does what? Spends his days violating his rights. Being criminal act. If I was to extort someone, you would call me a fucking violent criminal. But give me a shiny badge, and we call that justice. Like, what world do we live in? And I just want to know, how are these self-proclaimed Christians going to answer to their God when they die? And God's like, you know, why are these bad thugs your God? You believe they have authority over my children. And then, you know, but he was right in another sense. So if you look at it at the real sense of it, you know, teach them to love God. You love government. You love the police. You know, to make your video, you could change a couple of words in your video, and you would have a good 1940s, early 40s, late 30s German. No difference. There's no difference in supporting the police today or the Gestapo or brown shirts then. Parents were saying the same shit to their kids then that you said in that video today about being a good German. But we don't. But you're not going to agree with that if you see this video. And anybody that watches him is not going to agree with that. Of course, you're not going to agree with that because you've been indoctrinated to believe that you must do all these other little things. You know, be a good tax-paying, law-abiding bootlicker, or whatever it is, in order to be a good adult. When the truth is, I know people. So I've met a lot of people. Can't say that they have met. And I'm not proud of this in the sense of why I met these people. So don't think I'm saying that. Like, I've hung out with for real killers. Like, people that did the shit for fun. I've hung out with dudes that, you know, got in some bullshit and accidentally killed somebody. Fuck, my bunkie was I've had two bunkies that were murderers. One of them beat his grandma's brains off her fucking... Beat the whole top of her, half of her skull off. From her jawline up was gone with a ball-peen hammer. I had a bunkie that cut some chick up and left her all over Hamilton, over like I don't know, gram of dope or some shit. Anyway, I can tell you this about you're a good adult theory. You know how many of those people were raised in religious homes? Because religion's always a topic. Majority of them, at least 50% of them, and I probably have spent time with, I don't know, probably 15 people who have killed or murdered, and then probably 5 who have murdered more than one person. And more than 50% of them was everything that you described. So with that in mind, like, your home life doesn't dictate who you are truly. It might give you some guidance, but my dad can't teach me my principles. My mom and dad had totally different principles and a totally different moral compass than I do. That's not something that's gained from your parents. That's something that you teach yourself or you learn. And when your belief system is that government is my God because I put these people with shiny badges, I believe they have authority not only over me, as I call myself a Christian, but over all other men, and all other men must obey as long as I agree with whatever they must obey too. Now, if it affects me, no. They must not obey. They must resist. But if I'm okay with it, then they should be okay with it. Therefore, if they don't do what Badge Thug says, my God, then they are a criminal. Like, what world do we live in? But what does that say? There are far more people who come from fucked up places with fucked up parents from fucked up homes that never stepped into church, never even probably heard about God, that are moral adults. I'm not going to say good because that's a pretty fucking subjective word. I guess moral is too, though, depending on what your moral compass is. But it's just ridiculous. And the real ridiculous part of it is, like always, it's not even the video. It's the comments. All these people talking about God. God. When really they should be replacing God with government. That's really what they should be doing. And you can't argue that. Then why do you think nobody argues the questions I ask? Because you cannot argue them. You can't argue the facts. You can't argue the truth. Just like when I put out videos asking all cops, how many cops do you think have seen my videos? When I do the recorded, which is a criminal act, whether in your God's eyes, my God's eyes, or by law, in order to pay you every penny that you make. Somebody explain that. Is it like I hit her because I love her? It's the same thing. Well, I beat her up because I love her. It's an abusive relationship. A relationship I personally don't want any part of. But because the majority are stupid enough to fall into it and fall for it. You know the biggest trick? You know who? I was thinking about this last week. The biggest trick ever played on man and the Antichrist. The Antichrist isn't one being. It's the police. Well, why do you say that, Freedom? Look at how many people worship the police, who believe that the police have authority over all men because government says so. Really, it's government, but the police specifically. Not only in our country, in countries across the world. Like, and then people, you know, the default is as well, you're biased because you have a criminal. You're a criminal, motherfucker. I ain't no damn criminal. I'm not a. I've done a lot of dumb shit. I'll be the first person to raise my hand and say that. Am I a criminal? No. Who was harmed? Nobody ever. Nobody ever had a chance of harm doing this shit that I did. Now, I didn't fuck with some people's property on from here to there. Not people being person like you or I. Corporations, which is how it was justified in my own mind. It was wrong. That's why I don't fucking do it no more. That's why I'm 6 years sober from drugs and probably, what year is this? 2022? Damn, I'm almost a decade into not committing any immoral acts against fucking anybody. Whether that be corporations or the dude next door. But Freedom, you went to prison in 2016, and how was you in prison in 2017 if you wouldn't commit next? Because, dickhead, I caught that case 4 years earlier, stupid. Some of us don't bitch up and cop out. Some of us fight the shit till the end, especially when they know we're in the right. Yeah, but you pled guilty. Yeah, I pled guilty. You're absolutely right. Why did I plead guilty? Because they locked up my old lady, too, and hit her with a 7-count indictment. Yeah, I did the manly thing. Instead of risking my wife's life, I bit the bullet and said, hey, babe, I can go do this little 9 months and it's done. And then we ain't never worry about this shit again. And you ain't got no record. I already got a record, so it don't really fucking matter. But Freedom, what about that one time in 2015 when you was in that single car accident and you left the scene of the crime? Single car accident, dickhead. The only person shit that was hurt was mine. I owned it. I need to tell government when I break my own shit? And I really didn't leave the scene. I just got out of the road. But when you have a history with the Popo, because the sheriffs in Hamilton County start out in the jail as jailers. So when I wrecked, I literally looked over at the cop. He was right there. I came to a dead stop. And then I looked back and seen all the traffic. I'm like, hey, Freedom, you know what? It'd probably be a good idea to get this car out of the middle of the road. So that's what I did. Probably 150 feet. Anybody that knows the Ready Road area in Cincinnati, coming down the hill past White Castle, you go under, it's either Taft or, yeah, I think it's Taft. McMillan. You go under McMillan. Right under that McMillan Bridge is where I wrecked at, right past it. And then I pulled into Shell. So yes, I'm kind of biased. I see what and I see what it does. I had somebody argue with me the other day about Snowden. Well, why don't Snowden just come back? I said, because they States and he would face trial. See him. He was screwing some lady. She had a husband. He goes, sorry. Self-defense. He was invited into the home by a woman. Whether or not she was married has no burden on it. What if she'd have called the defense? Because the judge told him he could not use self-defense as silly. I don't know of any cases where the defendant was allowed to stand up to the jury and tell the jury why they did something. Anyway, so I see part of the system that all people don't see. I see how corrupt and how crooked and how fucked up it is. I see what's wrong when the other people don't see what's wrong. Because I've been there, I've done that. Just like you can say that having God and raising a good home makes you a good adult, yet I know more for real killers, not dudes that accidentally just killed somebody, people that were fucking chopping bodies up and shit, beating grandma's head off her shoulders, who were all raised in great homes, will tell you, had great parents, great homes, great school life and shit, church on Wednesdays and Sundays, praying before every meal, then not. But you don't even believe in God yourself, man. And like, I hate saying that to anybody because I'm no one to judge who's God, who believes in what God. But when your actions show, like I think we can all agree to at least one universal thing, no matter who your God is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who your God is or what you call your God. I think we all can believe or say that God is the only one with authority over me, my God. That's why he's your God. Right? And here comes the word that where you always know somebody's messed up in the head. But the police have authority over you too. Up to and to the point of ending your life. So do you raise your kids to be good little, tax-paying, conservative who are afraid of violence, who won't fight for themselves, who won't stand up when say something when something needs to be said? If that's your ideal good, no. You raised a slave is what you raised. So say what it is. Here's how you raise a good slave. You can talk all that Bible stuff you want. That's a different conversation because right now we're just talking about God, your God. And when your God is government, you're right. To the degree that you believe in him, I don't. Government has one job: to protect the rights that God gave me. That's it. I, as a human, as a free being, gave them no authority over me. But freedom, the 10th Amendment, yeah, the 10th Amendment doesn't give the state the authority to give itself authority over me. Like, I've heard all these arguments, and they're not even arguments. That's why everybody gives up every time. And then you have the stupidest argument on fucking earth, which is from our favorite, well, yeah, one of our favorite fans, Gay Notes heart-shaped box. Oh shit, I forgot to call my wife. She's gonna be pissed. Hang on one second, dude. Sorry about that. My bad. I forgot. I got amped up and forgot to call my wife. I didn't get amped up, but I forgot to call my wife. Luckily, she wasn't pissed. She ain't gonna beat me up tonight. No black eyes for me. But anyway, yeah, that's why, you know, like I said, man, I say it all the time. God, I'm so sick of saying the same shit. That's why I don't make videos anymore. Because it's all been said. There's nothing left else to say. Cognitive dissonance is a real disease. It is truly a disease. And it's suffered by the masses in this country who are no different than late 30s and early 40s Germans. No fucking different. Identical in every way. Except in Germany, they all want it. They're one master. Here, they've split it up to make it a little easier to confuse you all. And don't say that I'm wrong, because the shit we were talking about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago is happening now. You know, they've already implemented this, 2023 central bank digital currency that's coming out that we're all going to be tied to, where we're going to have no privacy whatsoever when it pertains to hey, there's my Liberty chick. I'm sorry, don't give me black eyes, please. I don't look good with black eyes. But anyway, so I'm off the real world prepper bullshit. Hopefully he sees that and he thinks for a second, wait a second. If this is my God and my God has authority over me, how do I believe that these people have authority over me too? And more than that, fuck you. Not like fuck you, but fuck what you think about you. What about the people around you? Is your God okay with you watching them be oppressed by these badged thugs who come in the name of government to commit real crimes? There's not one thing that a cop does to you, not one thing a cop does to you that you wouldn't rightfully shoot me in the face for doing. And you would do it. If I stopped you and said, here's a piece of paper, you can pay this $240 by Friday, or you can show up to court a month and a half from now, sit there half the day, then pay an extra $175 in court for costs when they find you guilty. You can do that if you want. You would laugh in my face. If I told you, you know what, you're going to pay me a percentage of what your home or your property is worth every year on this day, or else you're going to get a late payment and a late fee. And then if you don't pay it in a couple of years, I'm going to take it and I'm going to sell it to somebody else to pay your little measly ass couple $1,000 debt that you owe me. You laugh at me. But we're okay with when government does it, because government has done what is called legalized. So if I was your government, let's pretend I was king. And the agreement was, when I was king, that there would be no restrictive laws against the people. So everybody made the king. And then I'm like, you know what? I want a little more power. And I wrote a law, and I put it into law that you now must pay me 15% of your income every week. So now it's legal, right? And I have my badged thugs that I now extort this money from you to pay them, enforce this on you. But it's all legal. I made it legal. I made a promise in the beginning. I then backed out of that because it's what's best for everybody. You can trust me. I'm king. It's best for everybody. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't want them going over 55. Even on a road that should obviously not have a speed limit. But I can gain some more revenue from that. And build some shit and buy some shit and hire some more thugs. And I make it legal. I put it into law. It's no different. It's no different than the shit going on today that we see. It's no different than these bullshit ass unconstitutional court systems. But see, the problem is people know the history they have been told, but not the history that was. I mean, look at World War II and what happened to the Germans. There's the one side of the Holocaust, but if you go back and look at, newspapers from that time, how did they know that there were 6 million Jews killed within 2 weeks after the war ending? Who came up with that number? Who counted them? And there's a whole other story behind that we're not going to go into now. But you only know the history you've been told unless you look for that history, and trust me, it's hard to find. It's hard to find some... Hey, Greg, I haven't forgot about you, man. I just now got home, dude. Just now got home. Actually, I plan on calling you after this, to be honest with you. But it's just... I don't know. What do? You don't do anything. Not when you're the small minority and the vast majority put their full faith and belief in government and its thugs. You can vote Republican until the end of time. The cops are still going to be oppressing somebody today in this country. Even if it's just 1%. I'm not okay with that. You know why I'm not okay with that? Because I'm not willing to raise my hand to be that one person every single day. Just like people that believe in the death penalty. Somebody the other day was talking about the fucking Nicholas Cruz video I made. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they can fry him. I'm not okay with that. We know that there's over 180 people that our government has put to death that later found out that they were completely innocent. Put to death for no reason whatsoever. Because they fit the description, or they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they were somewhere where they shouldn't. I mean, whatever the reason is, our government killed them for nothing. And then stole money from you, extorted it from you. You're going to pay where else, gun to your head. You're going to fucking pay where else. And then paid their families off to shut up. And I'm not okay with that. And I'm not willing to raise my hand to be like, you know what? I will be that person that dies. You know, put me in the front of the line. When you can say that, then you can take that position that you're okay with the death penalty. Well, I didn't break no laws. Neither did they. And you would think, especially with the C virus thing, especially with them coming out that the jabs were bullshit. They didn't do anything for transmission. They only gave you like a 5% better chance of not catching the C virus a second, third, fourth, fifth, 16th time. That they really did nothing. It was about money. That was it. They killed the world's economies over money. Well, how'd they do that? They killed the economies. Look at who made the money from killing the economies, from shutting everything down. It wasn't the small man. You can't have a grandma, mom, and pop shop open with 2 people in it, but you can have fucking Walmart open with the whole goddamn town in it. Now everybody's going to Walmart because every other store is closed. But nobody questions that. Why? Because government said so. Government's king. Government's God. Government doesn't lie. Government has our best interest at heart. Yeah, get out of here, man. Government is a bunch of crooked ass people at this point. It's so far gone. I would go as far to say you cannot be in government today if you are not crooked. Anybody who enters government and it's a career path, they get paid from, they accept money from it, they talk to lobbyists or whatever it is, they're jinxed. You're literally voting to fill a position in what you know is a tyrannical government. But you're still trying to fill the position with your preferred form of tyranny. You have been tricked to the 10th degree. But you can't convince people of that don't know that. You're the conspiracy theorist, or you're the nutball, or you're the criminal, or you're the whatever. I don't care a fuck what label you put on me. I genuinely do not give 2 fucks. Because I read a post the other day where it was talking about, it listed all kinds of shit. I went to the store and I had $1 and I had to put stuff back on the shelf. And then I went to the store, went out to eat and spent $200, a whole bunch of shit. And the moral of the story was you're not better than anybody else. And I call bullshit. I'm far better than a lot of fucking people because I would never support anybody that treats humans the way that cops do. I would never support anybody who believes they are somebody else's God. I would never support anybody who believes that these people are those people's gods. So yes, I am better than all you fuckers. Just at a humane level, a human level, a principle level, or a moral level, whatever level you want to go. Yes, I am better than those people. And hopefully you are too. But it's the world we live in, right? Deal with it until you die, or deal with it until they catch up with you. One of the two. Either way, you're going to be dead, though. Like, people don't see problems with the shit that I see problems with. And I see those problems because I have been on the other side of it. I have seen what happens when they legit take everything you have. And you're standing in a fucking 7x12 concrete block in your boxers. And that's literally all that's in the room. And then if you're lucky, they'll toss a Bible under the door. And you can read it 5 or 6 times straight. In every way known to man. Just in case the first time you read it, you didn't get it right. And, you know, like, I've voiced my opinion about the Bible 100 times. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just put the facts out there and just say it's not for me. I don't need a book. There's nobody in this world that had pointed at something and said anything or directed me a certain way or whatever for me to believe in my God. I know that from shit that's happened in my life. Not because, you know, God gave me the money to feed my wife this week. No, the God didn't give me the money to feed my wife and kids this week. I went out and earned it. Well, that's a gift from God. Okay, and you can believe that if you want. More power to you. That doesn't mean I need to believe it. You know, when you start bringing the Bible into things, do I need to bring the Quran into things? Because you have to believe it, right? Because it's the Quran. That's people's holy book. Right? No. It's what they believe. So anytime anybody brings the Bible into it, I bring up God, and like I did in that post, to prove the point of the hypocrisy of it, the idiocracy in it. You say that your God is Jesus. You know, and then there's the Trinity doctrine. I get it. Like, trust me, I've learned all that shit. I was a good little Catholic at one time. But if you remember, when Jesus would pray to the Father, but if you believe in the Trinity doctrine, unless I'm just really don't understand what it is, and there is that possibility, I guess. Although one of my classes for years was going to church. That was literally a class. 45 minutes a day. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit are not one thing, which is basically what the Trinity doctrine says. I just don't believe it. You can believe whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that I have to believe it. No different than these people having a male on their, a dick when they're born and calling themselves fucking Teresa and that they're a female now. Do you believe that just because they say it? Hell no, you don't. But if the majority of people believe that, would you have to believe it? No. Why? Because it doesn't make any fucking sense to you. That's why. Hold on. I got a Rugrat coming. What? What are you doing, Rugrat? No. I was talking about something else. You want to know how you raise a good kid? You let them be kids, man. You let them be them. That's how you raise a good kid. And you guide them when they fuck up, and you pat them on the back when they don't. That's how you raise a good kid. I'm not going to say good adult, because when he's an adult, what he does is his thing. No. Silas about busted his ass. You wanted me to tell you today. He's been practicing riding wheelies. Thankfully, he was back here on the dirt on one of the trails I made him. And he lost it, went over. Luckily, the grab bar hit and saved him.
And the floor just turned off immediately as soon as the grab bar hit the ground.
Yep.
I was going slow enough. It wouldn't have hurt me that
You just
bad.
let your mom carry all that stuff in? And you were in the car with her?
No, she carried like 3 bags.
All right, let me finish what I'm talking about. You can't hear it. This is private. This is top secret.
Nah, I want to hear.
You got to go away. Sorry. I'll tell you when you're 25.
23. 26.
Whatever. And as Christians, if somebody would have never put the Bible in front of you and said, here, believe this, would you believe it? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Regardless, though, it's a stupid argument to make. If you're going to have an argument that's factual. And when I bring God up and point to you to show the idiocracy, the fact is that you say that this is your God. Yet, your belief system tells you that these men are your God. And that's kind of it. What are you all doing? How you doing, Mr. Greg? Hell yeah, he's real. Who's real? Sasquatch is real? Dude, I've seen Sasquatch 14 times since we've been here. You didn't know that? There's too much diversity in life to not at least have hope. Yeah. Hope's a killer, man. I've seen hope kill people. That's a real thing. I'm not saying, like, people misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we've made it. Do I believe Jesus Christ was a real man who walked the face of the earth? I do. I believe that he created, or he, did all these miraculous things throughout his time here. There's a high likelihood of it. Do I believe he was the Son of God? I'm not convinced of it. With that said, notice I said, is he the Son of God? So what does that tell you? But Freedom, you're not making no sense because this book written by man says that God said. So if I told you the Pope said that you could suck his dick, does that mean the Pope really said it? The Freedom, you're not as close to the Pope as these guys were to Jesus. So then why is there 17 stories written 5 different ways that they were all that close to him? It doesn't matter. Point being is, your God is government, if that's your belief. I mean, you have to know that there's a God, because when I look at that book over there, it don't become a hot rap magazine on its own, right? A whole bunch of steps have to take place. Just like us as humans, we're so complex, something had to happen. Something had to go from single cell or whatever it was in order to make us. And that's the point at the tree in a hot rod magazine. The words, the word structure, the sentences, the paragraphs, the stories, all had to be put there by something else. No different than our bodies. We're just way too complex. Travis Pastrana is one of the best riders ever, and even he crashes. He's broken almost every bone in his body. He usually handled riding. Yeah, he knows, man. He's funny. He's dying to learn how to ride wheelies, though, man. He wants to be able to ride a wheelie. Not just, like Papa Willie. He wants to be able to ride a wheelie whenever he wants to ride one for as long as he wants to ride it. And I just let him do it. Christy says I'm stupid. Well, either he'll wreck or he'll learn how to ride wheelies, one of the two. And I bet if he wrecks, I bet he still tries to learn how to ride wheelies. Yeah, Travis Pastrana is pretty awesome. Ricky Carmichael, I don't know. Ricky Carmichael's he might have a little edge on Pastrana. He did there toward the end anyway. I make fun of Sasquatch. What are you talking about? I don't make fun of Sasquatch. I make fun of everybody. What the hell are you talking about, Willis? Sure, I talked to her in the morning, take T. Tell T, I said, what's up? Where are you at, Greg? Side guy, come here. Now. I'm not going to tell you, you didn't come fast enough. I was going to tell you what I was talking about. Now you don't get to know. Hey, Jay said Travis Pastrana crashed all the time. Jay said that Travis Pastrana is one of the best riders in the world, and he crashed all the time. Ride smart. He said, okay. But I'm going to go. I got shit to do. It's still early-ish. I got some trees I got some wood I need, some bucks I need to split up some logs. Soon I'll be there. Dude, you've been saying that shit since February, bro. It'd be November. No! Hey! Put it up. All right. I'm just messing with you, bro. No rush, man. There's no rush. Trust me, you ain't missing nothing. Work, 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 day after day. I worked today. I just now got home. That's how I spend my Sundays. That's what you get for doing it in sandals, dummy. See? You tell them they're dummy when they're dummy. That's how you raise a good adult. God, that just blows my mind. All right, guys, I got to go. You guys have a good night and stay safe, please. Young Arizona. What, deer season was canceled? Yeah, man, it sucks when your wife wears the pants, don't it, bro? Just saying. When you come up here, man, I'll teach you how to run shit. Maybe I'll have Trade and teach you how to run shit. We'll get you together, man. You'll go back to Texas a new man. You'll be wearing the pants in your family when you go back. Ricky Johnson in the 80s was the best rider ever I've seen. I remember the name Ricky Johnson. I can't put a face with it, though. Who did he ride? He rode for everybody, didn't he? Didn't he start out on Kawasaki's with the Yamaha and then wound up on the CRs in like 85? Or 86 or 87 or something? I forget. All right, guys, I got to go. Oh, did you see it? Bigfoot Sasquatch. He's funny. All right. Stay safe. I got to go. I got to get some sleep. You guys have a good night. Stay safe-ish.